The Heilpern Show. Sponsored by Step Finance, your go-to DeFi portfolio manager on Solana. Luno, if you're just getting into Bitcoin, it's the perfect place to start. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Heilpern Show. Today is going to be a lot of fun because we are talking about entrepreneurship and building in crypto, all of my favorite things. But before we jump into it, I do want to let you know that this is sponsored by BlockFi as usual. So you can actually get amazing interest rates right now. I think actually they are the most competitive with around 9% on your stable coins. I use them. I really like them. So if you are interested, I have left a link for you in the comments and in the description. So just check that out. I think you get around $250 when you sign up. And this is powered by Icon Plus Capital, the VC firm. So definitely check them out. All right, as I said, we are talking entrepreneurship, we are talking crypto, and a little bit of Web3. So joining me today is the CEO of PackagePortal. It is JG. Hey, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to chat with you. I haven't been covering a lot of Web3, so I'm really happy to have you on because I know you're building in Web3. I don't fully understand everything, so I'm excited to learn and go into it. So you're essentially tokenizing e-commerce. What does that mean? Explain that to me.
Yeah, so I guess high level overview. We started out tokenizing just delivery signatures. I don't know if you're familiar with a signature. If you get a package delivered to your house, you have to sign for it. If it's expensive, there's a fee attached to that, and it averages $5 to $6. And I own a delivery company here in Phoenix. I've owned it for about 9 years. It's still operational. My brother-in-law runs it for me right now, so I can focus on PackagePortal. But out of that, I figured out I lost a lot of money, and so did my staff. I've got about 40 drivers, and we generated $600,000 in 2019 in signature fees, and got none of it. The broker kept it all. The middleman kept it all. And this was about a year after I had learned of crypto. One of my drivers actually told me about a token that will remain unnamed. He flipped for a whole lot of money, and I was all ears. I knew about the profit potential of Bitcoin and other cryptos, but I didn't really understand smart contracts. So once I dug down the rabbit hole of the power of automating middleman, I figured out we can, let's automate this process. We can put a scanner in the hand of the consumer so that they can close that supply chain loop and provide a digital signature that's, it was timely with COVID. No contaminants, with the flu, whatever it may be. You can avoid touching somebody else's device, right? So that was kind of the foundational core service. But from that, we were able to just expand a whole lot of feature sets, like the feedback data. Consumer data is very valuable. We know that. Big tech mines this off of us, right? They they listen, they monitor, they watch, they aggregate all of your data, and then they package it up and sell it to advertisers. So what we want to do is flip that and say, you as a consumer, your data is valuable, and we want to reward you immediately in the moment for that data. And we can wrap it up in the form of a token, and you can do whatever you want with that. Earn Satoshis, swap out, just add value to the consumer immediately. And then the merchants who want to access that data can come on and gain membership to the platform, effectively buying the tokens from the consumers who are earning them.
So on like a really basic level, you're trying to revolutionize the delivery service industry. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that delivery as a whole, it's a transport service, right? The economy is built off of consumers and merchants. Somebody wants to sell something, somebody wants to buy it, they agree on a price, and the transaction is conducted. But e-commerce changes that. It introduces a whole new dynamic of transportation, and that's where I come from, is logistics. And so we have consumed all power. We're a logistics company is just a third-party middleman, right? They're a service provider. But what happens now is the merchant gives them their money for the fee, gives them their product, and then just crosses their fingers and hope everything goes well. And then wait 2 weeks before they fulfill invoices, just to wait for complaints and damage reports. But in that, the carrier has consumed all power. They house the data, and they don't need to. The data should be between the consumer and the merchant, and this company can just transport, just get it from A to B, and that's what we hope to do.
And you mentioned earning Satoshis, which was really cool, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation, because I love anything like that. So how does somebody like me earn Satoshis?
So It's possible right now, currently. I mean, we just launched V2, which was a rebuild version of our initial launch right before Thanksgiving. So you can go and download the app right now in the Play Store, the App Store, and then immediately, if you get packages, as you have deliveries come into your house, you can input those tracking numbers, monitor it. You'll get notifications about its location and its status, and then when it arrives, you can give a confirmation, and then thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of like Uber. Uber, you rate it, and then you can give customized feedback too. Lipstick melted, box was damaged, the driver was
Mm.
dirty. The box was not there. All sorts of customized data points that the merchant can specify. If it's a food prep company that's sending meals out, they might want to know, was the ice melted, or
Oh wow.
was
So
it
wait,
was
you
there not
can
a lot of ice?
earn satoshis by essentially reviewing how the delivery service went.
Exactly. Yeah, because again, you as the
That's so
consumer,
cool.
that's very, very valuable data, right? But you should
Yeah, for
be
sure.
rewarded for that, not just, do it. I get emails all the time after a post-purchase experience and they want my survey. I'm not going to provide that because it's 45 seconds to load your web page and then click through all this stuff with no benefit to me as a consumer. You can refine your business processes and figure out ways to make more money off of me and everybody else, but I get nothing. So we want to flip that and say the consumer should have the power. They should have more power during the delivery experience, and they should have a voice in that, and they should earn um, incentives for providing any sort of insight.
Yeah, I mean, everybody right now in the industry is trying to build something with Web3, which essentially brings the power back to the people. It rewards them for their
Sure.
data, and it flips it, as you say. But like, how long until you see this going mainstream? Because it all sounds really great, Even when we talk about like decentralized social media platforms and everything that's going on right now, we all really want to have that kind of decentralized experience where big tech
Mm.
isn't monetizing us. But how long, until this whole idea is going to go mainstream?
Well, I think we hit an inflection point sometime in the last few months. We've been building since
Mm,
2019, so it's trendy now to say Web3, which is just a really
yes,
clever rebrand of crypto. Um, you
that's
know,
true.
it works out really good. So we have Web3 solutions, but I think it's here. Institutions are onboarding. They want in. They're buying NFTs. They're going heavy and long on Bitcoin, which is good.
Mm.
Any dip that you see, don't expect it to last. It's here. Well, we've been in crypto for a number of years, and we all fantasized about institutional buy-in and mainstream adoption and that sort of thing. And that's really what drove me to start this company in 2018. I got in right at the top, the previous top, and
Yeah.
so I was putting money in and just watching it dwindle. And rather than just sit on my thumbs and watch the portfolio melt away, I figured it's still very early. What can we do? What can we build? I'm not a coder. I'm not a software engineer, but I'm an entrepreneur. I know how to find people who can do things, build things, connect the dots that I can't, and together we can accomplish some really cool stuff.
I absolutely love that. A lot of people get really salty and upset during a bear market. But you went in at the top and you said, I'm gonna build,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But you're entirely bootstrapped, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, I own a delivery company, so I had a lot of free time. I could focus on the biz dev, but my engineers they all had day jobs. My
Mm,
co-founder, he's been a software programmer for over a decade, has led two teams through acquisitions in previous companies, really experienced team leader. And he's got two guys that were working with him at his previous company, and for 2 years they were nights and weekends. And we launched the product after a year and a half of testing, and so we had a beta out there for about a year, nights and weekends, and it was tough. We had explosive growth during that time, and it was hard to manage. But effectively, nobody was taking the salary. It was just operational costs. We would front that and do what we needed to do. And then at one point, we were able to use some of the treasury tokens and capitalize a little bit. There was a price run up because we do have an altcoin. I don't want to talk about it. I want to respect the show and talk about the entrepreneurship, but we were able to conservatively capitalize. We took a little bit out for operational expenses, and now we're good. We have capital, we have runway. The guys all went full time back in June, and with 6 months of full time build time, they were able to launch a completely rebuilt product, front end, back end. We have merchant services, so a merchant can go on to our website, our app, and view and aggregate all of this data. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We can isolate in the Chicago area. Here's everybody who said they had a bad experience, and here's why. Here's all of the a heat map of all of the scans from a particular shipper, Flipkart in India. We've got a lot of users globally: India, Indonesia, Netherlands.
Are you
So
in the
that
UK yet?
oh yeah,
You are
GDPR
in the
compliant too. Yeah,
Oh, very good.
yeah, we
That's
had to wait a
amazing.
little bit.
Yeah, of course, UK regulation is a bit of a nightmare at the moment when it comes to this. But I think that's so exciting. And I think that it's people struggle very much to try and find their place in the industry, in the crypto space, right? They're like, what am I? Am I a trader? Am I an investor? Am I trying to build something? How do I build something? So my question is, how did you kind of just like take the plunge into building something in crypto, right? Because like this is so on the forefront of innovation, totally leading the way. I mean, everything that's going on with tech right now. So how did you
Mm.
make that decision?
I think effectively I was just trying to solve my own problem because again, I
Mm,
lost a lot of money in my
that's true.
delivery company, 600K in a year. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Because the middleman was taking the signature fee. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The
Wow.
service is to collect the signature, and they call it a quick history lesson, or I guess synopsis is within the industry. There's proof of delivery. Anytime you have a package come to your door, the courier can scan that, and he's just capturing the GPS location and the timestamp, and that's it. So effectively, it's just some random fourth or fifth party who's contracted and says, "I put that tracking label at that place at that time," and that's where the buck stops. That's not good enough, and so a signature can provide proof or confirmation that somebody at that location actually signed. Now, a signature can be forged, right? Drivers with COVID, you can look it up online. FedEx, all of the majors, everybody put out press releases and said we will no longer collect signatures. And drivers were doing authorized forgery effectively. They'll show you at the door, I'll just put an X here by your name. And that's kind of standard now.
Oh wow. Wait, so because obviously I know that I remember during COVID they wouldn't do signatures because they didn't want to like have that
Mhm.
contact. So they would just like ring the
Right.
doorbell, leave the package. So are you saying that these drivers would forge signatures?
Well, I don't want to
Okay,
put
we don't
that
know.
on anybody in particular, but yes, that happens, and this in a lot of cases it's authorized because the courier company has said just put an X, but that's not good enough because a driver can put an X and not drop the package off. That is
Mm,
completely susceptible to manipulation and fraud, and on top of that, somebody is paying a fee for a service to be completed that is not being completed. So if there's a $5, like $6.20 is DHL for a signature. It's $5.55 for UPS, and the USPS here in America, they're the cheapest. $2.35 if you do it online, but that's still it's a fee tacked on to show that you did what I already paid you to do. It's a confirmation.
mm.
I just want my receipt. And so we changed
So
proof of
strange.
delivery and we offer proof of receipt, which is putting that scanner, that final, uh, the final input, the final data point from the consumer who opened the supply chain loop in the first place, right? You have the shopping cart moment, and the consumer opens up that loop, and then it goes through order processes, and then it finally arrives at its destination. And somebody else who has no interest in either the brand or the consumer, they just want their delivery fee, or their
Yeah.
hourly wage, and they just want to get their route done. So there's a disconnect there. So what we do is we connect the merchant and the consumer at that moment of delivery, which is a very powerful moment. You can capture their eyes and their thoughts. What do you think about this product? Um, would you like to buy more? What else do you want to buy? Advertisements, that sort of thing. There's lots that we can do when we reconnect them at that moment.
I like that I think that's what most entrepreneurs do, right? They decide to create the idea comes from the fact that they had a problem and they are trying to solve it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so fascinating. It just no matter what industry, that's always the case. So talk to me about some of the biggest challenges you had building in crypto.
Um, well, I think regulatory uncertainty is the biggest cloud that hangs over us. Like, how do we go about these different things in a way that's not going to wrap a noose around us in the future, or bring trouble? And so we did a lot of due diligence. We have a legal team that is heavily in the space, and they're working on some good things for us. But that was, it's more of a concern. That didn't necessarily make it difficult. It made it a little bit more tedious because we have to examine every different aspect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess difficulty is the UX really, because the user experience in crypto, it's not good. We got to refine that, and that's something that we're working on trying to do. We really want to um, make it easy for people to get crypto, right? Ultimately, Bitcoin. I think that will become the global reserve of store value. It's going to replace gold. Why not? It's better, 10 times better in every way. So if I believe that to be the case, there's a transfer of wealth coming, and I want to empower the people effectively. So our app is a tool. It's like if Bitcoin is the gold rush, then our app is picks and shovels. And we want to empower people to go out and mine it for themselves rather than being mined for your data and your value by big tech. Go out and mine this new coming store of value for yourself.
How did you get into crypto?
How did I what?
Get into crypto?
Oh, one of my drivers, he started working for me and he told me, I remember an unnamed token. I don't want to name it. It starts with a T.
Uh,
Yeah, he told me how he
Wait,
turned
which token was
1,500
it?
in Tron.
Oh, it's Tron. Yeah.
Yeah, he said I turned 1,500 into 40K, and I was like, really? Tell me more. But that spun me down the rabbit hole of the tech. Because I knew about the profit making. I was a little bit concerned. There was a lot of FUD at that time in
Yeah.
2017, and so I was kind of hands off. Uh, but I did my due diligence, find out that wasn't the token I wanted. There were other tokens I wanted. Ultimately, Bitcoin is what you want, and I want to put it in the hands of other people. So, you know, why not arm them with the ability to do so? Monetize your feedback, your data, your input, your thoughts. How do you feel about the products you buy and the places that you buy them from? And that's very powerful tools for the merchants and the brands because they can look at that, aggregate, and just make their stuff better.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like when you do build in crypto and you build whatever it is you're building, whether it's just like your own brand, whether it's whether it's you're investing or you're trading, you do get a lot of backlash. So I'm just wondering, have you had any backlash from I don't know when you try I don't know any backlash from whether it's like colleagues, family, friends? What kind of issues have you faced?
And I don't think we had a lot of backlash. I mean, it's been a blessing. We had great reception from a particular community. We built our back end processes, our smart contracts on the Zilliqa platform, which is the first public network to have sharding, which makes transactions pretty fast and scalable and cheap. There are other cheaper options out there right now, but they have centralization issues, and every network has its own
Yeah,
problems. We don't want to be tribalistic, so our back end exists there, but we want to deploy the ability for users to earn credits and rewards and tokens on their own favorite network. We don't want to have tribes fighting and we only be isolated to one chain. If you love Bitcoin and you want to just scan for sats, we want to make that happen. If you want to convert into Solana or AVAX or ETH or any number of tokens, Phantom, if you want to have those tokens, because every token or every, I guess, smart contract layer one protocol has its own community. And rather than alienate any one community, we want to make it feasible for everybody to, enjoy the ability to monetize their feedback.
that's interesting. So how is that possible? So your the backend is entirely on Zilliqa, is that right?
Right. So what happens is when you confirm a delivery, you go through the process of the app. You get credits and you can then claim them as we have a KYC process to make sure that we stay in bounds and it's working. It's actually working
Compliant.
very good for us. Yeah, got to be
Good.
compliant. But that will authorize your wallet, and then you're able to claim a token that you can then convert into other tokens. And so we have on the pipeline right now making that much easier and wrapping up
Yes.
the gas because right now the a challenge there is gas. Getting Zilliqa is hard, particularly here in America, and we don't want new users.
Wait,
We
why is it
believe our
hard in America?
it's not on Coinbase. We don't have
Oh,
access to
okay.
Binance. We have like
Yeah.
KuCoin. There's only a few exchanges, and getting crypto is hard. Period. Full stop. Right? You got to go through this huge KYC process, and that's troublesome. And you've been in it for a while. You're an evangelist. You're doing a great job at being an ambassador for crypto and Bitcoin in particular. And we want to do the same thing, but it's hard because trying to get people to understand how to create a wallet and secure the private key and secure the private key again. Be very safe there. And then operate and trade and swap and do all these things is very complicated for people that are not native to the system. And we want to make that easy because we believe we can be an onboarding platform for people into crypto rather than having to figure all that out and go and buy it. Just tell us how you felt about your purchase and you can earn it.
So when they oh, I see. So when they are involved, there is, it's like using it's like using a custodian, right? Like there is no private key, there is no seed phrase, there is no like serious responsibility or self custody that needs to be taken. Is that correct?
No, currently we are non-custodial, so we want users to
Oh, you're
fully own the value.
non-custodial.
Yeah, we don't want to
I didn't
control that. We
realize.
want users to be able to, if you earn a reward, we want you to own it, and do what you want. Trade it, swap it, hold it, stake it. We have all of those options for you. Right now, you can turn it into Satoshis, but there's, like 5 different steps and 3 different exchanges you have to do that on. And so we need to fix that. That's our goal for H1. We'll be at the blockchain or the Bitcoin conference in Miami, and maybe we'll have some progress there that we can share. But yeah, ultimately, we want to make it much easier because currently to claim or convert or do any of that, you've got to have gas. And on Ethereum, nobody is going to be able to claim any tokens at those gas prices. Zilliqa enables us to do so for much cheaper. It's a few pennies, but still, at scale, that's not good. We cannot just front the gas. So we've got some different contract standards that we're looking to deploy in the coming weeks and months to make the user experience just much better so that a new
Yes.
user can earn crypto, claim it, and then do whatever they want immediately.
Speaking of Ethereum, I tried to sell an NFT yesterday and it was going to cost me $200. I was like, I'm going to wait for a higher offer. Like that
Yeah.
was crazy. It's so insane, I know. But you make a really important point in that, like, these taking self custody is so complicated for people that
Mhm.
don't understand seed phrase, private keys, like understanding, good self custody practices. What is it like? The concept of a wallet, is even complicated. So
Absolutely.
how do you onboard people then? Because like obviously the idea is great. You get rewarded for leaving a review, which I think is just amazing. I wish we got rewarded on Uber for leaving a review, the amount of Ubers I take. I literally
Patent pending.
never, pardon, say that
I just
again.
said patent pending. Uber should talk
Yeah.
to us if they want to try that.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I never leave a review. I actually never leave reviews because
Yeah.
it's just,
Why? You're
I
not
don't have
incentivized to
time.
do so. Yeah. You're not
Yeah.
benefited in any way, shape, or form. And it just takes time away from you. And we can
Yes,
change
but
that.
exactly. And so like I love the idea. I'm just thinking, how is the average person going to understand this and onboard
Yeah,
themselves?
and that's at the height of our discussions and our
Okay.
strategy overall. Our number one goal this year is to expand and get more users because ultimately it makes the economy, the ecosystem more resilient and more valuable and strengthens and hardens the value proposition that we bring to merchants. And it's synergistic, but it's difficult. So um, currently our focus is people who are crypto natives. They understand how to do some of the bare essentials, and then we're going to open a seed round here probably this quarter, and then try to scale up the team to be able to deploy to multiple layer ones, and then as well as just improve the overall user experience because we want it to be super simple for somebody to come in. And then also we have educational materials within the app, and we're going to build that out. So you can come to the app similar to like a Coinbase and things like that, because we do wear the responsibility of if we can succeed on our goals, then we have the propensity to become a very powerful onboarding platform for non-crypto natives to get into the space. And that's a responsibility that we're not going to take lightly. We want to educate them and equip them to navigate safely, and not step on any landmines. We want to shepherd them in that way.
I have a question just like about
Sure.
motivation because I've been reading a lot online about people struggling to remain motivated when they're building businesses, right? Um, so where does your passion and your motivation come to build?
That's a good question. I'm super competitive. Ask my little brother. He is a retired Army vet, retired firefighter, anesthesiologist with his own practice, real estate agent, great guy. And we compete against each other for that. But also, my father, he was in a wheelchair. He had an illness when I was 12. He went to the hospital and was gone 5 months. We left our house, moved in with my grandma, and it was quite the experience, right? But he was an entrepreneur. Before his accident, he had us out there delivering newspapers and yellow pages. People don't remember that. It was like Google. It was a 4-inch Google on paper, yellow pages, at like age of 9 and 10. Um, and so I've always had that drive to want to not work for somebody else and not be tied,
Mm.
not be trading my time for a set wage, but exerting my energy and getting recompensed for that. Like, in in parallel with my efforts. And so it can be hard sometimes as an entrepreneur, especially when you hit slows, there's valleys and peaks, and you just got to go back to your original motivations, your original inspiration. Why did you want to build this in the first place? And if that was vain and there was nothing there, if it was superfluous, then you're not going to have anything to fall back on, and you might not be able to continue. But if you had a solid foundation for wanting to start something, then you can succeed. And in my case, my pops was in a wheelchair, running an insurance company from the bedroom, and
Mm.
doing taxes and this kind of stuff, still getting it, not stopped by the loss of his legs. And so I want to honor that legacy and go out and start something and make it great.
It's always good to have a good example. But
100%.
it's funny because like a lot of people talk about how the 9 to 5 is the safest option, right? And I was watching a video yesterday, actually. It was Jim Carrey speaking, saying that his father wanted to be a comedian. And he said that he said, but it was too risky, so he went and got a 9 to 5. When Jim Carrey was then 12 years old, his
Yeah.
father lost his safe job. And so like he would have been safer going ahead and, building something and chasing his dreams. So
Yeah, it's very scary. I mean, you have to take a lot of risk. You effectively, I mean, it's akin to taking your own sovereignty over finances, right? When you become your own custodian of your wealth,
income.
yeah, then that's a big responsibility. It's on your shoulders, and it's similar with entrepreneurship. You've got to take risk. It might cost you some money. It's going to cost you some time. That's for sure. Mental capacity, vacations, all kind of stuff that you might want to do. You can't because you need to accomplish these goals if you want to succeed. Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, it's a fun
I mean,
journey.
do you think the 9 to 5 is really that safe, or do you feel safer?
No, I don't. I mean, my previous 9 to 5 before I like I had I was managing a warehouse, um, furniture warehouse, and I was good. I was good at my job. I was efficient. My reward for getting done sooner than everybody and doing a better job than everybody was grunt work. Now I just got
More.
to you got to wait. You got 2 hours left on your shift, so go sweep the floors. No, my value is worth more than that. I'm outperforming everybody, and there was no incentive for me to perform better. And so I
Mm,
can see the flipped model of that with my delivery company because I don't pay my drivers hourly. They all earn piecework. Effectively, every delivery that they do, they earn $2 or more. And some of them are doing 250 stops a day on some days. So they're making good money, but they're incentivized to do so. When I got into it, the more you take, the more you make. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you go home. So there's incentive there. And that changes everything. And there's not much incentive with 9 to 5s unless it's climbing that corporate ladder um, for the purpose of, just being elevated or for the purpose of gleaning knowledge and learning what you can from those different roles and then applying that to something in the future. There's value there, but it's
yeah. I mean, you make
confined.
you make an interesting point in that, you worked super efficiently, better than everyone else, and then your last like 3 hours of the day, you had to do grunt work, and you're just like, I could be spending my time more efficiently. It doesn't really make
Mm,
sense. It's just a continuous cycle. And then I often find, and I hope no one like gets offended by this, but I often find like when that's the case, and you're not building for you, you're building for somebody else, and there's no direct incentive. I often find like the work done is never as good as it would be if you had an incentive to do it for yourself, or even if you had an incentive to make more money, right? Like, but
yeah,
just because you finished your work faster doesn't mean you're going to make more money.
absolutely. It comes down to ownership. I mean, as an
Yeah.
owner, you've put risk and skin into the game, and so if you don't perform
Risk.
well,
Yeah.
you might lose a contract and that sort of thing. You're going to lose out. It's different with a 9 to 5 when you're working for somebody else and they're just paying you hourly. That's just not there.
Yeah, it's true. It's an interesting way of doing it. I I did some work with some people that worked at their 9 to 5s, and they hated their job, and there was no incentive to provide good
Mm,
quality service. So it kind of
yeah,
just ties back to the whole idea with PackagePortal, in that you are directly incentivized, um, because you want to,
100%.
there's incentive
Incentive is
in
yeah.
every way. Yeah.
Incentive is everything. And there's a lot of value. I don't want to disparage 9 to 5s because I learned a lot in the ones that I worked. They were hard.
Yes.
A lot of them were not rewarding at all financially, But the lessons that I learned and the work ethic that it forced and ingrained within me was valuable. But ultimately, it's I don't like to use dead end, but it's a cul-de-sac because you cannot take ownership. You can't control your destiny. You are effectively you're joining somebody else's mission, and that's cool for a time. But me, being the competitor that I am and wanting to achieve and control my own destiny and my schedule, and get maximum value out of my efforts and my energies because I think that they can provide value, then I want to pursue that. And you can't do that working for somebody else. You just have to do it yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want to discredit that either. For me, I just think it's dangerous. I just
Hmm.
think it's dangerous, especially with inflation, right? Like the UK today has just hit its highest level of inflation in 30 years. I think it's at I know it's at 5.4%, and that's just a shy
Yeah.
number if you don't include the CPI. And so, you can't turn around and up your prices according to inflation, whereas you can when you're an entrepreneur.
Hmm. Yeah, you have total flexibility. You can do it when you can set the prices, change the prices. If there's customers that you just want to give a smoking deal to, you can do that. You control it. And that gives you a lot of power in sales and communication and networking. And really, it's just about taking on that risk so that you can absorb power. And it's a lot of work, not to shy away from the long nights and weekends and the energy, mental taxation. I was not this gray. I just turned 22. I'm just kidding. I've
You're
been in
lying.
crypto 5 years. No, I just
It
turned 40.
happens.
And my hair's black on top, but it's right here. And some of that stress is from entrepreneurship, having within the logistics space as well. Every package needs to be delivered every day. It doesn't matter if this guy breaks down or he's having a baby or she's sick. None of that matters. I still got to get these packages out. So again, ownership. Even when it gets hard, you got to figure out a way to get it done. That's my motto. Let's figure it out. When there's a problem or a challenge, let's figure it out.
It's true. And how do you stay then like ahead of the game and stay innovating and stay creating? Because like for me personally, like that's a challenge that I find. You always want to be trendy, as trendy as possible. You want to be at the forefront of innovation. You want to be really like, yeah, trendy is the word. So how do you keep creating and innovating?
That's a good question. It kind of links back to the motivation. I think that if you're solving a problem for people, then you're going to stay relevant. You're going to stay trending and stay in the moment because people want what you have or what you provide. And
Yeah.
ultimately, what we provide is a marketplace for them to monetize their data and monetize their feedback, which is huge. And then so that's benefit for them, big value add. But then conversely, the merchant, if they're paying $6 for a signature fee right now, they can get it for like a nickel, much less. They can 97% savings or something to that effect. But also they can engage with their consumers in a whole new way. So it's major value for the merchant, major value for the consumer. It's synergistic and beneficial for both parties, and we that gives us confidence. We can stand behind that. We're saying we're not here to siphon value away from one party, whether it be to line our own pockets or just to help somebody succeed at the expense of another. We don't want
Mm.
that. We want to decentralize power effectively. Carriers right now, like we said at the top of the call, carriers have all power. They control the
Yeah.
data and they're biased. It's all in a silo. They're biased. If there's a problem, they can obfuscate or hide that from you, right? If there's no problem, if everything goes good one time, they'll amplify that. And we
Yeah.
have no insight. Even my delivery company, I provide data and I have to pay my broker to access that data. And no consumer I've ever delivered to in all of my time has been able to look at that data. And we need to change that. The merchant should be able to own their data and the consumer should generate it.
Sounds very Web 2. Sounds like the mainstream media and everything that's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah,
Hiding
100%.
information, amplifying
100%. Break it
information,
down. I
which,
mean, it should be
yeah.
transparent, public. We want merchants and consumers to join or to band together effectively to hold carriers accountable to better service and honest data because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of that sometimes.
So, what advice would you give people who are looking to, start building something for themselves in crypto? Whether it's working in the industry full time or whether it's actually building some form of product like you've built.
Those are probably two different approaches. I think working in something
Mm,
full time, find something that you're passionate about and find a team that you can work well with and that you're really ultimately a vision or a product that you're excited about. Because when your passion is there, it's easy to work. I
Yeah.
love what we built. I think it's solving a lot of problems. It's huge. I want to tell everybody, do you see how cool this is? I want to be calm, but I'm very passionate about it because I know that it's providing value. And so if you can align yourself with a team or a vision or a product that fits you in that manner, for you, I think it's Bitcoin. You've latched yourself to like the coming revolution of this financial uh, traditional financial market being upended, right? And you're an evangelist for that. So it's easy. You enjoy this, I'm sure. You
Oh, yeah.
enjoy
I'm a
traveling.
freedom maximalist.
Are
I'm a
you in
freedom
Panama right now?
maximalist.
Oh,
I am in
100%. You
Panama.
should. My
I
sister
am.
lives in Panama. She sailed down from Maryland. She's been there for about 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Panama?
I forget the name of the city.
Oh, okay.
I've never been there, but I just remembered that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Freedom. It's all about freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, freedom maximalist. Like, I totally agree with
Mhm.
you. I think when you do something which you truly love and you feel that there's purpose in it, then you have to do it. I hate the idea that you have to monetize your hobbies, right? People often say, do something that you're good at. And a lot of people say, no, just, you don't have to monetize everything. Just be happy and enjoy
Yeah,
it, right? But at the same time, like, you should be, like, what's the point in working if it doesn't, if there's no end, if it doesn't inspire you to wake up every day?
hmm
Like, you don't want to be living for the weekends. You want to be, you want to wake up on a Monday and be like, wow, today I'm going to change the world. And like,
yeah,
whether you're directly changing the world or whether you're, just doing something on a small scale, I think it's so fulfilling, and even just like everything that's going on in the world right now with lockdowns and things like that, like it for me personally, it just ties into crypto. Like, it just does. And
hmm
so it all, for me, it all
yeah.
just
I
makes
agree.
sense.
I agree. And there's never been a better time in the history of man than to try to seize on some of your dreams and your goals and to take that leap and add a little bit of risk because I mean, think the internet is powerful. You can you can learn anything that you want to. You don't need a college degree that costs $100,000. You can just go do your research and figure it out because college degree does not give you applied knowledge. It gives you just learned
Don't get
knowledge.
me
You have to go and
started.
apply it. Sorry. No, but it speaks to the desires and the goals. And if you can find something that you're passionate about, then it's easy. You hear it all the time. I've heard it since I was a little kid. Oh, I love what I do, so it's
I'm not
recess.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not working because I love it. You're still working. That's BS.
Oh
There's some
yeah.
nights when I'm dog tired. I got to fire off an email. This I got deadlines. This and that. And you can't drop the ball. There's calls that you don't want to take. You might not feel good. You might have things going on. My dogs are going nuts. They're driving me crazy today. My wife, whatever the case may be, you want to be able to take care of your family and do good work. But sometimes that becomes difficult. However, if you love what you're doing and you're passionate about what it is, like the end goal is, the North Star of the company that you work for or the company that you start, then it becomes easy.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting point. There's no one else that's going to do it other than you. Like, for example, imagine if I was so sick today. There's no one else that's
Mhm.
going to do the show other than maybe I am
Yeah,
sick. You wouldn't know. I'd have to just have
yeah.
to turn up. Just have to
The
show
show
up,
must
don't
go
you?
on. Yeah, you
Yeah, exactly.
got to get it done. Yeah, delivery every package every day. You got to get it done. I don't, if the car breaks down or this happens, we still got to do it.
Exactly. Got to find a solution. So, what's the future then of Package Portal? What can we expect? I know you said some educational content could be coming. I know you said that you want to make earning Satoshis easier, the user experience, but what else can we expect?
Oh, so much. Yeah, we've got a roadmap on our Twitter profile. You can check us out,
Okay.
packageportal.com. You can see that there also. We've got a lot this year. We've got NFTs coming, and they will be utility
Oh,
based. Yeah, not just cool art. We'll have that, but they're going to have function to where, if you own one of our NFTs, you don't just earn one reward. You earn three or five. There'll be multiple multipliers.
triple Satoshis.
Yeah, you can earn 5 satoshis per scan, and a lot of cool stuff that we can integrate with non fungible tokens, also direct support for multiple layer ones and Satoshi's Bitcoin itself. Um, we've got our legal team in Wyoming. I think I mentioned them earlier. They've been working on some stuff. We had a call with
Mm.
the Secretary of State there because we're incorporated in 2019 before Web3 was cool. We've been here, guys.
Before it
So we've
was
been
cool,
working
yeah.
with the Secretary of State on some different applications, and they're really excited about the utility of our token. Like, the most definitive textbook case. I don't want to speak for them, but that's the vibe that we get, that they really could use us as an example for what a utility token should look like, how to operate and navigate. You're going back to bootstrapping. We never
Yeah.
did any OTC sales. We never did any ICOs or raises or anything like that.
I
Any
love it.
token that we ever swapped was through a DEX. in conservative amounts over time, never when the price was dropping, to preserve the economy, because you want to build a community. And our community loves and trusts us. They've rode with us for a long time, and we love that. And that's powerful for us because the network effect is huge. Word of mouth is incredible.
Yeah, no, absolutely is. So before we say goodbye, well, actually first, do you have any like last final words that you want to share with everyone?
Ah, go download the app. Um, Send us a message if you need some help. And, we're excited to build. I think that we might become a little bit more publicized in the coming weeks and months as we try to hit our goals and the objectives that we have, just to make it very easy for people to earn crypto and then swap and trade and do whatever they want. And DeFi for delivery data, Web3 for e-commerce. We built it. We're here and it's launched and it's live. And now we just want to tell the world about it. So you might be
That's
early if you
exciting.
go. Yeah. Yeah.
We are early. So where can
Incredible.
people find you? What's the Twitter? Tell us everything.
Everything is package portal, one word, spelled normally. So Twitter, Medium, our website, uh, anything. It's all we got the rights early, so it's package portal. You can look us up that way. Find us in the App Store, the Google Play Store. You can download it, start earning today. Um, yeah,
And guys, don't forget, follow JG on Twitter for just to stay up to date and for
yeah. I'm the
more of
jagged
his.
one. Yeah, the jagged one.
There you go. I want to thank you so much. It's been so nice chatting with you. I love to have a good conversation about building, entrepreneurship,
It's
removing
fun.
middlemen, becoming more sovereign over everything that you do.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you so much. It's been so great having you on.
100%. Yeah, I love talking about this stuff too. It's easy, sovereignty over your finances, over your time, over your vision and goals, ultimately your life. And then if you align that with doing something that adds value to the world, then what's to stop you?
I
So it's
totally
been
agree with
good.
you. It's the perfect
Yeah.
package. So guys, don't forget, follow JG, follow Package Portal, and don't forget to tune in next week. We'll see you
Thanks
then.
a
Bye
lot,
bye.
Layah. Bye bye.